First of all, when we walk into a grocery store, every single item on every single store shelf should be healthy for us. We should feel good about putting that into our carts. And yet nothing could be further from the truth. The grocery store is actually a minefield. Hi, this is Dr. Elizabeth Klodas, cardiologist and founder of Step 1 Foods. Labels are misleading, and they're often used for marketing as opposed to true promises of health. For example, you can have an item state very clearly on the front of the box that it contains 0 grams of trans fat, and the FDA allows 0.5 grams per serving, and for the food to still say 0 grams of trans fat. And if a serving is half a muffin, guess what? You're now at 1 gram of trans fat, and that's counterproductive to health. So sugar is interesting because it matters where the sugar comes from, and sometimes even the absence of sugar is not a guarantee of health. So, for example, where the sugar comes from, you can look at the nutrition panel for an apple and a nutrition panel for 8 gummy bears, and they will look almost identical. Same sugar content, same carb content. The difference may be a little bit more fiber in the apple, and oddly enough, a little bit more protein in the gummy bears. But you'd be hard pressed to choose which one is better for you based upon the nutrition panel itself. And yet we know that the apple is good for us and the gummy bears are not. The biochemical impact of a whole real food is just so much different than a processed item. So sugar content alone should not be your guide. You need to know where that sugar comes from. If it's intrinsic to the food, as it will be in any fruit, it's okay. It comes with a fiber package. It comes with micronutrients, antioxidants, vitamins in a whole food way that is incredibly beneficial, and the sugar is metabolized differently. On the other hand, the absence of sugar, so artificial sweeteners, which will not make it to the sugar content, on the nutrition panel, but are present in the ingredient list, are completely counterproductive. In fact, we know, based on studies, that people who consume artificial sweeteners are just at the exact same risk of developing diabetes as people who eat regular sugar. And that's because artificial sweeteners have a complex effect on our body. It's not just sugar management, it's also what's happening to their microbiome. And it turns out that artificial sweeteners affect the microbiome in such a way that it affects insulin sensitivity. So we become just as insulin resistant using artificial sweeteners as we do pumping our bodies full of regular sugar. So again, it depends on where the sugar comes from in terms of the effects it has on our biochemistry. The vast majority of the sugar in our products comes from fruit, and fruit-based sugar is part and parcel of the fruit itself, which means it comes with fiber and micronutrients and antioxidants and minerals and vitamins, which have multiple positive health effects. And the sugar absorption is different than it would be from a candy bar, let's say.